So now we move on to the first exercise, which is your expenses at retirement. The expenses you need at retirement depends on the kind of lifestyle you want. Do you want a lifestyle of luxury? Do you want a lifestyle of travel? Do you just want a simple lifestyle? Obviously, the more luxurious your lifestyle is, the more money you should expect to spend at retirement. It is recommended that at retirement you have paid off all your debt, so that's one less thing you have to worry about. And also remember that you tend to make less during retirement because you're mostly living on, on assets and the income from assets, and those could be more, those could be less. I mean, there's no flat rule. It depends on how well you have planned or what kind of return on investments you can get. But in general, on average, people tend to earn less after retirement than they do during their working years. So just be realistic. There's no point, designing cloud in the pie in the sky type of plans, because at the end of the day, when you retire, you're going to regret that. So now in this exercise, we'll talk about your expenses, and in the next slide, you'll see how to enter your expenses so you can estimate what your total expenses will be at retirement. Now, let us start entering monthly expenses. You'll see when you go to the data entry general, that's the very first exercise on the very top page, on the very top of the page. There's some categories that have been suggested for you. So you can go ahead and enter. These are just general categories that most people have expenses in. For example, most people have expenses for food. They'll have expenses for clothing. They'll have expenses for shelter. So think about the monthly amount you're going to spend. For example, if you spend $500 on a month for food, per month for food, you would put 500 times 12. On an annual basis, you spend $6,000. If you spend $50 a month for clothing, you put 50 times 12. So basically, you're just thinking of how much you spent monthly and then projecting that annually. If your shelter will be paid for because your home is fully paid, you can put 0. And then household needs, repairs, and whatever is not listed here, you can go ahead and put it down on this green part. For example, if I have a theme for hats, I can be like, well, I spend like $50 for hats each month, or $40 a month each for hats. So I'll put 40 times 12 for hats, because that's just something I love to collect and something I do. So go ahead and put as many other as you want. And then at some point, you can just let's say there's only one line left, you can just lump, a whole bunch of together and name it something, and then, add the total here. The most important thing is this amount down here, the 13,000 is correct. That's really the number you're looking for. Next, we'll scroll down to exercise 2 and talk about other income from assets. See you in the next exercise.